Hello, and a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insight session. Something a little bit different for you today that we've not had throughout the year. We are joined by the University of Southampton specific Winchester School of Art program. We're joined today by Kwame Phillips, who's going to talk you through the next 30 minutes. But before I hand you over, a reminder that today's session through Postgrad Insights is live. Today's date is the 26th of September 2025. If you do have any questions and you are watching on demand, please email Postgrad Solutions. We have webinars at postgradsolutions.com, or you can communicate with us on our social media pages. Likewise, if you are watching on the Zoom channel today, which there will be a few, and on social media also, please just communicate directly with us with whatever platform you're watching on, and we'll endeavour to answer your questions at the Q&A at the end of the session. But for now, Kwame, over to you. I'll be back for the
Sure.
Q&A at the end.
Thank you, Gareth, and welcome to everyone who is here. My name is Dr. Kwame Phillips. I am Senior Lecturer of Media Practices here at Winchester School of Art and one of the program leads of the MA program in digital media. Happy to introduce you to the program. I'll go through the details of what we do, show a couple of videos that will give you some insight as to how the programs run, what students have to say about it. And if you do have any questions, feel free to, I guess, drop them in the chat and it will be passed on to me at the end and I'll do my best to answer them as best I can. So the MA in Digital Media is a part of the Winchester School of Art, which is a part of the broader University of Southampton community. This is a pretty huge research institution. As you can see here on the page, there are various honors and things that we are proud of in terms of our rankings and the things that we're able to do. I think these things are important in terms of establishing a university and their reputation. But what I would say is that the thing that I'm most happy about and proud about in terms of being a part of this Southampton community is the kind of programs that we're able to run and the kind of experiences that we are able to provide for students. And I'll speak very specifically about the role that I think that MA Digital Media does in this as a part of this University of Southampton community. One of the things that I always try to, and we as a program try to encourage students to do, is to consider themselves a part of this much broader Southampton community. So Winchester School of Art is just the art school, a part of the University of Southampton. There are a number of other campuses that are a part of this community. The main campus is Highfield campus in Southampton. WSA, the Winchester School of Art, is, as the name suggests, in Winchester. But there's also the Boulderwood Innovation Campus, which is home to the engineering programs and the business school. There is the Avenue Campus, which is home to the humanities. There is the Waterfront Campus, which is home to the Oceanography Center. The hospital is also closely affiliated with the university. And we also now have the City Center Campus, where the John Hansard Gallery is and the Student Enterprise Junction is as well. And so even though the Digital Media MA is hosted at WSA, we encourage students to visit all of the campuses, use all of the resources, use all of the facilities. Don't feel as if you are getting locked in necessarily to one campus. Go to these other places for both academic purposes and also social purposes. Make friends, join societies, join the union. There's a multitude of things that you can do as a part of this broader Southampton community, but your home as a MA Digital Media student would be at WSA. And also, not WSA in and of itself is both this campus that's at Park Avenue, but by the time that you would be entering potentially as students, there will also be Capital House, which will be a new digital media creative computing space right next to the Winchester train station, just maybe 2 minutes away. from the Winchester train station. WSA campus itself is maybe 10 minutes away if you're doing a leisurely walk, but things are quite close, easy to kind of like transport yourself from place to place. One of the things that the university likes to focus on is success stories after the MA. And I know for many students, this is something that they are concerned about. What can I do with this degree? Where will it take me? What kind of jobs can I get? The advantage of being in a digital media program is that encompasses almost all forms of employment areas at the moment, because media is literally everywhere. And so the skills that you will pick up as a part of this degree can take you into commercial programs, educational organizations, charity organizations, NGOs, activist organizations. So whether you want to continue on more directly in media as a career, or if you wanted to move more towards art, if you wanted to move towards being a researcher or educator, a technologist, there's a multitude of options available to you as a result of successfully completing an MA in digital media. Sky, one of our graduates from a couple of years ago, is just one of the examples of the variety of kind of like careers that can come out of the program. Sky is a photographer now in London. She came back to give a lecture last year to the students who are on the program. So yeah, we're happy to see success stories from the school, from our program, and depending on where you are, who you come from, the different kinds of conversations you can have, it's not difficult to kind of like find and hear from these graduates and get advice from them in terms of how to survive, what to expect, what to do with it. There's also a careers center that is a part of the university who are ready and willing and able to give you advice about what it is that you can do, where can you find internships, what kind of jobs can you get. Everybody's here happily willing to help guide you towards what it is that you want to do with your time after you graduate. I will now show you a video. Some of you may have seen this, but this is the video that is introducing the program.
The MA in Digital Media, it focuses on the rapidly developing global media landscape, and it draws on different disciplines including media arts, visual cultures, algorithmic culture, games and playful media, as well as screen practices.
The structure of the course is based around the first semester being dedicated more to the individual work, and the second semester group work, and the third semester to the final project exploration, which is where the students can kind of hone into on what is interesting them the most. Students can loan out various technical equipment, including cameras, sound equipment, LiDAR scanners, iPads, drones. There's actually pretty much anything you can think of in terms of creative practice made either by hand or on a screen. You probably will find it in the school.
What we have that is special about the course is that combination between practice and theory. What we're trying to do is put these two things together so that at the end of the day, you not only have a student who is competitive in the job market, but also a student who comes out of it being a critical thinker as it relates to digital media, a burgeoning, excellent practitioner as it relates to digital media.
I think digital media in the contemporary world is an extremely important field in general, for everyone, but also for professionals working in that. The course is innovative in the unique blend of theory and practice, but also in how it approaches the digital media landscape overall, how it updates constantly and how it sees the the global challenges as something to include in the curriculum and something to directly address. The freedom that students have in choosing their own passions and topics of interest is fundamental to the course, but also the structure that they're invited to is giving them input, and then they have to work on it independently. While there's freedom in finding your way in the course and freedom in choosing what you want to study, there is also kind of particular sets of support that guide them towards it.
I made a game with all my friends. Before that, I just play games, and I never thought how I'm going to make one. And here, I learned the theories about how to make games. My tutor, Francis, really helped me a lot and gave me a lot of encouragement. I am now a little bit braver than before, brave to talk, brave to do things, brave to explore. You can also learn everything from the experiences of doing things. So I now can imagine myself in a job that I want.
We just want people to feel comfortable in those spaces, whoever they are, whoever they wish to become in the future, whatever they're trying to struggle to become at the present. We're hopeful that they all come into the space and understand that who they are is enough, and that what we'll do is try and guide them through this process as much as possible.
Just go for it. If you need help, just contact the university. They will show what you need to do to get in this university. They're all very nice people, so be kind, be nice, and believe in yourself. Just go for it. You will have a really great year here, and you will have a great experience, develop the skills, and you make great friends with other people too. So welcome to Southampton.
Right. So, in terms of the course itself, I think one of the things that we've tried very hard to do is to make the course adaptable. As you can well imagine, the world of digital media and media in general moves very quickly. And as such, the course itself has to be adaptable to that ever-changing world. So what we generally do is often we have an annual theme. So for this year, right now, the theme is going to be about environmentalism. And so the theme typically attaches itself to issues that are relevant at a particular period of time. Last year, the theme was around labor. And so the program itself adapts in terms of what it teaches specifically in terms of topics and areas to what is happening in the world, while always being grounded in digital media as the discipline in which we are exploring these ideas. And so it also adapts to who is going to be there in terms of faculty. So we employ faculty with extensive skills and training in digital media, with extensive networks to the digital media landscape, practitioners who are able to come in and teach practice work as well. And so whoever becomes a part of that teaching team also helps to shape the directions that we're going to be moving in terms of what is being taught. But also, we are shaped by what students are interested in. So depending who becomes a part of that student cohort for that particular year, whatever they are interested in terms of particular kinds of practice, particular kinds of theoretical considerations, we tend to kind of then follow that a little bit and push things in that direction. So for instance, if one year we get a lot of people interested in film, then we'll ensure that we have teaching that is there to support people having that interest. So a part of what the MA does is it combines theory and practice. So why we think this is vitally important, because we are living in a world in which it is not sufficient that you understand the theory behind something. Moving into these jobs that are related to digital media, the expectations from employers is going to be that you know how to do the things, you know how to make the things. you know how to understand what goes into the production of different kinds of media texts. And so practice becomes also vitally important. But from our perspective as well, it's not only significant that you know how to make a thing, we want you to understand the historical context in which these things are made, the theoretical considerations that go into making these things and why they're important. So that combination and integration of theory and practice, we think, creates unique students who are at an advantage going out into the world ahead of people who only did theory or people who only did practice. And so I'll speak a little bit more about what that then looks like inside of the classroom in terms of things you have to do in your assessments. In a second, I'll talk a little bit more about the course here, just the kind of like basic details of what it is. It's a 1 year full-time project to get your master's. I've spoken a little bit about the teaching methods of that combination of theory and practice. We try to have teaching and assessment methods that are broad and inclusive and allow people to express themselves in lots of different ways. So it's not just writing. There are opportunities that you will have to speak. There are opportunities that you will have to make. There are opportunities where you have to present. There's lots of various ways in which you are going to be asked to do work and for that work to be assessed. And we think coming out of all of that, you'll be a well-rounded individual. So taught by renowned theorists and practitioners who are familiar with what is happening in the digital media sphere and with access to those facilities that I mentioned before at Park Avenue, where WSA is housed, and at Capitol House. And yeah, the plan is to make you, as graduates, these versatile media practitioners who are able to do critical thinking, who are able to do independent research, and who are able to do strong analysis that is going to make you highly employable and just better people in the world. There's a range of areas that are relevant that you could be coming from in terms of your own backgrounds or that you could be interested in moving forward. As you can see here, it mentions audiovisual media industries, which is quite broad: photography, sound, filmmaking. That could be artistic, that could be commercial. GLAM, which is galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. Digital journalism, social media, other kinds of media research. All of these areas are connected to what you could be doing and what you will be learning on the program. There is also guest talks from media scholars and industry professionals that are a part of the program. We also have participation in exhibitions, participation in other kinds of research events, and opportunities for study trips, opportunities for networking. And then the hope is that this puts you in the best position to pursue careers in the industry that is going to make you happy and successful. In terms of the structure of the program itself, you can see here on the screen how the year is structured. Semester 1 runs from October to January. Semester 2 runs from February to May. Semester 3, or what is the summer period, runs from June to September. In the first year, you are doing all of the things that I've mentioned before: theory, practice, and learning what to do with those things. So the theory comes in Digital Media 1, critical theory, and the assessment for that is a 3,000-word essay. The practical component happens in critical media practice, where you create, it says 3,000-word equivalent project. What that means is that you'll create and make something that counts as the equivalent of what an essay would be. And then in the methods class, media research methodologies 1, you learn how to frame this theory and this practice as a research methodology. And the assessment for that really is putting together a portfolio of the requirements for what a research project would look like. All of this is integrated together to come out at the end with what your final project is going to be, which is this bigger research project. So you're learning in each semester how to put together a successful final project. At the final project level, you have two options. You can either do a completely theoretical final project, where it will just be a regular 10,000 word research project, or you could do an integrated theory and practice final project, where you would have a combination of words and practical work as well. So we consider that to be a 3,000 word equivalent practice-based research project. That could be any kind of practical work that you want to do. If you want to do something in sound, you want to do something in film, you want to do something curatorial, it's kind of up to you, and then 7,000 words attached to it. Coming into the final project, in terms of helping you decide what direction you might want to take in your practice, if we go back to semester 2, we have Digital Media 2 Collaborative Critical Practice, which is a space where you choose from a range of strand options that are available to you in terms of what kind of practice you want to do. So there will be, for instance, this year, there will probably be a strand for sound, a strand for film, a strand for media arts, a strand for games, a strand for digital journalism. And you can decide, okay, I'm really interested in digital journalism. I'm going to go into that strand, and that will help you make determinations about if that is the pathway you want to go into for your final project. And then in the other course in semester 2, Media Research and Methodologies 2, that is where you learn how to put together a research proposal. So all of this is helping you develop what ends up being your final project in that semester 3 period. Semester 3 is largely independent work, where you're just doing your project, but you will be guided in that space by a dedicated supervisor who will meet with you frequently to help you understand things that you need to improve upon, to give you encouragement about things that are working, where you can ask questions. All the way throughout this process, we will help to guide you in the best way we can to make sure that you get out of this situation the most you can and have a very successful time as a student here. And then here is just maybe an easier way of seeing what it looks like at a semester by semester basis. Also in semester 2 is the option module, which is something that you select from outside of the program. It changes usually year to year, but there's opportunities to do a course on, say, digital cultures, a course on marketing, a course on experimental publishing. There's a variety of options you can choose from, and you can have discussions with us about which one you think works best, which one you might think coordinates best with what it is that you want to do. These are the options available to you, and this is what the module structure looks like. The next few slides are just to give you a sense of what classroom spaces look like, what students actually do. The picture in the middle is one of the lecture theaters. It's the lecture theater that we most often occupy. This is an older picture, so what's not present here is how this space has been turned into a motion capture lab space as well. So AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, are also potential options of focuses that you might want to have in terms of your work. One of our instructors is an expert in that. I am a sound person. Here are a few examples of the installation exhibition that happens at the end of the second semester. So from the work that comes out of Digital Media 2, students put together an exhibition. And so you can see from the exhibition, there's lots of different things that are happening. You can see games on the floor there. You can see media arts happening on the screen. You can see a film happening at the top. You can see other kinds of art products as a part of this exhibition. Every student will participate in the exhibition. And that's one of the things that students are often very excited about, because that's where they get to see their work live. People get to come and interact and see it. It's usually a big kind of event at the end of the second semester. This is some of the works from the annual symposium. The annual symposium is another event that students participate in, but the annual symposium is where you can participate in panels, discussions, research activities with staff. So it's students and staff together putting together work, which is a great opportunity for, great opportunity, both students and staff really, to interact with each other as scholars on equal footing and share and engage with each other's work. This is one of the works that came out of the photogrammetry workshop from semester 1 module, critical media practice. This is one of our favorite pictures from one of our former students, Boya. So this is the use of 3D technology and photogrammetry to do a scan, but then also augment and change that scan to add a different vibe to it. This is more works from the critical media practice students as a part of the experimental photography class that we had that year in critical media practice. And this is one of our instructors, Dr. Rowan Tang, showing some works at the Art and Humanities Open Day. So this is, you can see work from the exhibition being shown here outside in Southampton. So lots of opportunities for students to show their work, share their work, exhibit their work, which I think is really important in terms of doing that kind of stuff. This year's symposium poster was actually created by a student. So this is the poster here from Zihao, and you can see just the ways in which students and staff work together in the symposium to make it what it is. And then here's the poster from this year's exhibition. The exhibition was held at the Nutshell, which is a art space in Winchester City Centre. And so your work is not just restricted to what is happening inside of the boundaries of the school. It also happens outside in Winchester and Southampton as a whole, which I think is really important in terms of getting your work out there and making it, a thing. I'll show another couple of videos. These are just videos that came out of the exhibition, so you get a sense of what staff and students are saying about it and the program.
We are doing the master program. This is 1-year programs, and it's not only like the up to down, like the one way, which is delivering the lectures, we're delivering the talk. Normally, this always happens in the workshop or the seminar. So actually, we are working together.
The way that the course has been designed, it's designed to not only equip students with academic skills, but it's also designed to equip students with practical skills that are required for industry.
It has a lot of freedom, so you can basically create the things you want. It does give us a lot of space to create, so I appreciate that.
I'm really thankful for this course and our teacher or our classmates. I think I can use this in my future practical work. This course is not only teach us the technical skills, it helps me understand about how to work in a team, how to tell a story, and also how to creative under the pressure. So I think I've grown a lot during this course, and that make me have more confidence in the future, I think.
I'm so proud of my students. So like some of them at the beginning, they don't really know anything about the practices they are doing. And then they learn it and they try their best, and then their work is fantastic. They're good.
I think the students have done exceptionally well. They've put in a lot of time and effort into producing the different projects that is currently on display in the exhibition. So I'm really, really pleased with it. And I think that the students should be proud of the work that they've done.
It's actually a very interesting experience because in my bachelor school, we didn't have this kind of like the final exhibition to show our what we achieved from the whole process, from the whole course. So this is going to be a very fun time.
Oh, I feel great honor because this is the first time I participate in exhibition. And I'm very looking forward what people think when they watch my film. It's really the opportunity to us to show our work to other classmates and teachers. Well, I feel really proud and but also a bit emotional. When we were making this film, it's just like something in our head, and seeing that the shows is like this and people actually watching it, I really wanna hold on these feelings forever.
So yeah, excuse me. Hopefully that gives you a sense of what it feels like for the students, what kind of work they're able to do, what the experience is like for students who have completed the MA and have gone through the exhibition process. In terms of facilities that are available to you, there's a vast number of various kinds of facilities that are available to you. Not everything on this page is directly relevant to digital media, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it. So you might somehow want to incorporate textiles into your project work. That's 100% fine. We have that equipment there for you. We have VR and AR equipment. We have 3D scanning equipment. We have LiDAR scanners. We have a number of specialist software, the things that you would expect, like the Adobe Suite for video and photo and sound work, but also more specialized equipment and software as well. As a part of Winchester School of Art, even though digital media is a part of the Art and Media Technologies department, there's a department of design and department of fashion as well. And so you are able to interact with those programs as well. And often we do have interactions formally on the program certainly with fine art and with curation in terms of collaborations. And for the exhibition, it's put together with the collaboration of MA contemporary curating students. And so it's a big school with a lot of opportunities to use resources and facilities. If you are a student here, all of the facilities are open to you. You need only ask or do the training beforehand or book the room. I would encourage students at all times to be as ambitious as they want to be. And then it's up to us to kind of like guide you to tell you, okay, this makes sense. This you'd have to change a little bit, but don't feel restricted in what you can conceive of as being the kind of work that you want to do, because more than likely the equipment exists there for anything that you want to choose to do. So I've spoken a little bit already about the assessment process and the things that you would be required to do. A range of practical and theoretical work, written work, creative projects, presentations, group work, and that creative projects can be a range of things that you may be interested in. As I mentioned also before, the final project can either be theory or integrated theory and practice. This is something that we think is particularly exciting because it allows you to shape the way in which you want to do your work. And it allows people who are interested in doing practice-based research to actually have a final project that incorporates that practice-based research. But if that is not the angle that you want to take and you just want to do a theoretical paper, that is also 100% fine. In terms of the practice-based research, the practice projects will be a part of the final degree show that happens at the end of the year. And then we will put the theory papers into some kind of digital publication that allows that work also to be showcased as a part of the final degree show. So everyone gets to show something both at the interim exhibition and then also again at the final degree show. Outside of the classroom, there are lots of facilities for community and support that are available at WSA and Southampton more broadly. Academic Skills Hub. The Student Hub is usually the #1 stop for questions that students may have. Wellbeing team, disability and inclusion team, student union, and within the student union, there's a number of clubs and societies that you're free to join. Make use of the time. If you're only here for a year as a part of your MA, I would encourage you to make the best use of that time, do things, travel, make friends, join clubs, join societies. But also there's a recognition that a lot of students are coming from far away, are not directly in touch with the support systems that they're used to. You can have homesickness, you could have other kinds of well-being concerns. We encourage you to reach out to the support services that are available to you. Don't feel any kind of shame or trepidation about reaching out. Everybody requires support and help, and these services are here for you. Please make use of them. We don't want you to feel alone at any stage. So in terms of the application process, here's the IELTS scores requirements. Overall 6.5, reading, writing, speaking, listening has to be at least a 6. You require 2-1 degree in a subject relevant to digital media, and that's very broad in terms of what that would be. Communications, obviously, other kinds of media backgrounds, obviously, but it could also be photography, it could also be philosophy, it could also be sociology. So it's not very restrictive in terms of the kind of subject area that is relevant to digital media. It is also possible to have, maybe you didn't have something that is directly relevant to digital media in your background, but you have done internships that are relevant, or you have worked for a few years in one of these areas. That also counts as something that would help you as a part of the application process and the entry requirements. So just make that that kind of thing clear in your application process, and then it will be considered as such, because there's lots of different pathways that people might have of coming into education, and we don't want to kind of prevent people from pursuing their goals in terms of getting a master's degree. I think that's all for me. If you do have direct questions, you can shoot me an email here, or my other co-program lead, Dr. Sasha Anikina, who is unable to make the presentation today, but is very happy to respond to any questions you might have. And then you can find out more information right here from the this website right here. So thank you very much.
Kwame, thank you very much. Really great session. I think a few questions to come in, but I want to start by asking about the differences between studying a creative course, because there'll be many students around the country, around the world, that will study a course or program that will be very much sat behind a desk, learning your trade as you would. However, this is very different, isn't it? Obviously, any kind of job in a creative, or any kind of course or program in a creative role, is totally different, because you're actually not only being rewarded at the end of it, but you're actually able to get rewards throughout your term there, aren't you? Because of the things you've mentioned, such as the exhibition and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we try and expose students to throughout the year, with the understanding that a year is a relatively short period of time in your life, but we try and maximize the opportunities that can come in that year and the kind of skills and things that you can do in that 1 year. And so, as I said, the nature of the world as it relates now in terms of what the job market careers look like as it relates to media kind of work. 20 years ago, being a journalist meant something very different than what being a journalist means now. And the expectations of you in terms of what you can do and how you can do it is very different now. The expectation is that you are able to pick up that camera, go out there, produce this work, come back, write about this work, and kind of like be the whole team by yourself. The expectations as someone working in communications in a particular company is that you will be able to not only write the brief on a particular thing, but design the web page, put it all together in a very particular kind of way. So what we're trying to kind of prepare students for is the realities of that world, that you are not only going to be sitting behind a desk. And even if you are going to be sitting behind a desk, you have to sit behind a desk and do a range of different things that is going to require both creative skills and theoretical skills. And so we want students to be in the best position to be able to be competitive in those career spaces, but also to be in the best position where they can kind of like go into any room and be able to speak from a place of authority and say, no, I understand what this is. I'm not just, the photographer. I understand the theory that has gone behind into creating this work, into what this work means, what this work engages with, what this work, why this work is important, so that anywhere that they can kind of like go armed with their MA, they are coming from a place of feeling very confident about what it is that they can say in those rooms, but people then can trust and say, okay, you have a digital media MA from Southampton. This means something because I know the kind of students that come out of that space. So I think that's kind of like what we're aiming for students to kind of have.
Yeah, I think skill sets change as well. And I think you touched upon something there that's important because a few of the questions that have come in have been, I have a degree in, let's say, IT. I've got a degree in another creative course. Can I study this? So I thought you made a great point. 20 years ago, journalism course was what it says on the tin, really. I liken it to business courses as well. If anyone did an MBA 25, 30 years ago, you would have been expected to run a shop or, that kind of vibe or run a high level business. Now you've got agricultural business levels and, within arts, within creative arts as well. So it's so broad. The question has come in. I have a bachelor degree in IT. Can I apply? And likewise, must I have a degree or can it be self-taught? Do I need an undergrad degree? Can it be a foundation or any other level?
I think if you don't have an undergrad degree, you'd have to have maybe some experience job-wise that is going to demonstrate that you are on the same kind of level. These are not necessarily things that we as the instructors get to decide. These are things that get filtered through the admissions process. But the admissions process does allow for maybe you didn't have a degree, but maybe you are an artist and you have, 5 years of creating this kind of art. That counts for something. You have 5 years working in this particular kind of field. That counts for something. And so it tries not to be too restrictive in terms of what a background looks like. But I think because it's education, the most straightforward background is, oh, you have a degree in this thing, that counts, and it goes here. Now, in terms of having a degree in IT, if you can demonstrate that what you're interested in is taking that IT and applying it in a creative, practical way, then that's sure, because having a degree from IT right now means a lot of different things. It could be that you have experience with Unity, you could have experience with various softwares that would be relevant to doing this course. What we don't want is to pigeonhole people and say, because you did this thing before, you can't do anything else. No, I think the advantage and value of digital media is that it does allow for lots of different kinds of people to enter into the space, come together and kind of come out with a degree together. And that's something that we'd encourage. We don't want to have, I mean, I love photography, but I don't want to have a classroom full of photographers because that's not very interesting for me. So the kind of variety that people kind of come in with is great. Yeah.
Can we finish on the culture within the course, the program department? Because, I always think when it comes to creativity and you're doing an art course, they're not afraid to show what they really think. So are they from all over the world? Does it make it a unique and fun, enjoyable program because of that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variety across the campus. There's definitely a lot of variety in the teaching team. I think in terms of the digital media teaching team, maybe one of the most diverse across Southampton. So and both diverse in terms of background and where they're coming from, diverse in terms of the kind of skills that they also are bringing to the table. So when you come into that space, what you are then able to have is a variety of experts who are going to guide you in lots of different directions. You can, and you will have to, as a consequences of being on the MA, have to learn a little bit about all these things in semester one. So you've never done sound before, you're gonna have to learn a little bit about it. You haven't done photography before, you have to learn a little bit about it. Or oftentimes what happens is students, because of the nature of digital technology now, will have had experience with taking photos, recording sound, making videos, but doing so from a perspective that is not necessarily critical, but doing it from a consumer perspective. What we're teaching people to do is we will meet you where you are in terms of the things that you are used to doing from a consumer perspective. What we are training you now to do is understand that from a critical perspective. Why are people making these decisions? What does this software allow you to do? How do you actually put this into practice in a way that is relevant, controllable, understood, all of these various ways of kind of looking at it. And so I think what we're trying to kind of like create from people is you're not going to come out of the program being, I don't want to say blind consumer, but you will understand what it is that you're using now. You know what goes into making these things, how these things are made. You'll see the entire process. You'll be able to comment on this entire process, and you'll be able to impact what happens with these processes because you will have the education to be able to critique, be critical, influence, respond to, engage with all of these various kinds of things. So yeah.
Of course, excellent. Kwame, we're going to wrap things up there. Thank you very much. Thanks for your
No
time. I really appreciate you going for your presentation. If anyone has any questions or if you've missed anything off this session, please watch it on demand. It will be on postgrad.com. It will be on YouTube as well. Just one final point from me, Kwame. When are the intake dates and when are you looking to take people on for?
I think these things are largely rolling. That's a question that would have to be confirmed by admissions.
There was a reason
we
I didn't
don't,
ask it before.
that part of the
Sorry.
sausage we don't see.
So typical intake dates are around September, I'd imagine. But if you do have any questions around admissions, admissions-y kind of questions, then please pop them to webinars@postgradsolutions.com. Alternatively, Kwame and Peter are in the background, the marketing manager, have your details also. They will reach out to you. Kwame, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Take care.
Take care, everyone.